Blow, it's a little hot, Jungkook said, and Taehyung turned his head away. It, are you all in the sick like him? Jungkook said, and Taehyung was still looking away. Jungkook smirked and placed his foot down on the ground until he grabbed Taehyung by the chin harshly. If you won't listen to me, I will end up killing you, Jungkook said, and Taehyung could feel the goosebumps on his arms. Meanwhile, Daniel and Hoseok were at the police station waiting for the officers to talk to them. Good afternoon, gentlemen. An officer approached them and both of them stood up, shaking his hand. They head inside a small room and settled down. I'm Officer Kim Seo-jin. I will be the one that will be taking charge of your case. So Kim Taehyung, as 27, was missing at approximately 3 p.m. last in at the gas station with his driver. He said, I will be questioning the driver tomorrow since he is still resting at the hospital, Jin said, and both of them nodded. Jin checked a few things and said, okay, so where was Kim Taehyung supposed to go? He was supposed to go for an interview at every show, but he didn't show up until I got the call from the driver, Daniel explained. Jin nodded and noticed. Hoseok shook his head and said, not that I could think of. He and I are best friends since we are kids. He really has friend respect for me and Daniel. Did Kim Taehyung argue with someone the past couple of days, a week, being unhappy with someone? Jin asked. Daniel and Hoseok looked at each other while knowing that they would have to talk about Jihoon. He's been during his mother a lot. He was married with Jeon, and Jeon was his fiance, but he had beaten Taehyung up a day ago. Hoseok said, Jihoon, you mean the actor that he also reporting missing? Jin asked with a shocked expression on his face. Both of them nodded their head and Jin signed as he wrote down on his notes. I see, this might be a serious case. Then I thought, alright, I might need both of you help for the upcoming days. I will want to spoke to his mother as well, Jin said as both of them agreed to help. Jin looked at the notes again and turned his eyes to the both of them information of him. Well, you'll be able to find Taehyung. Taehyung has finished his lunch with Jungkook feeding him, and Jungkook wiped his mouth of him. I thought I could trust you, but you are just a liar and betrayer, Taehyung said, and Jungkook laughed at him. Yes, I lied, but that doesn't stop from falling in love with you, Jungkook said, and Taehyung frowned at him. The first time I saw you at the stage rapping, you looked so stunning, and I couldn't help but to fall in love with you, Jungkook said, and smiled to himself. From there onwards, I want to every performance brought your album, your merchandise. The best thing was at the fan meeting event, looking at you up close just bring a smile to myself, Jungkook said. Taehyung knew that at that moment Jungkook was the one that wore the hoodies at the fan event. You were not a fan, Jungkook. You are a psycho. Taehyung raises his voice and Jungkook threw a glass cup at the wall beside him. Jungkook said, if I was a psycho, I wouldn't kill you at the first time I came ever to your house. Before Taehyung could say anything, Jeon jumped on Jungkook, tried to hurt him, making Taehyung surprised. I'll kill you, Jeon said, and he tries to knock Jungkook down, but Jungkook was stronger. He threw Jeon over him and grabbed his collar before throwing on the glass table. You hurt me in front of my lover, Jungkook yelled as he dragged Jeon to the room where he gets beaten up. With the doors closed, Taehyung could hear Jeon screaming in annoying from the outside. Then the door opened and Jeon was crying out. Jungkook was out of the room and was breathing heavily with sweat on his face. Taehyung looked at Jungkook and said, you are a monster, Jungkook. Jungkook left the basement to head upstairs while Taehyung watched Jiwon in caused red liquid out of his mouth. Maybe if you would gotten married, this wouldn't happen, Jiwon said, and Taehyung scoffed at him while looking away. Meanwhile, Officer General at Mrs. Jian's house with Hoseok and Daniel behind him. They knocked on the door and Mrs. Kim opened the door while she seemed surprised. Hello, Mrs. Kim. I'm Officer Jin. I'm with John Hoseok and Daniel Lee here. We have something to talk to you regarding your son, Jin said, and she lets them all in. Then why you sit on the couch? Mrs. Kim bought some tea from them and take a seat on her chair. Can I know what's going on? Mrs. Kim asked. Your son is missing. Apparently, he was supposed to be at a show, but he and the driver stopped by at gas station, and that was the last time Taehyung was seen. Jin explained. Mrs. Kim sighed and said, I think he probably just needs some time alone. He is stressed about getting married with you, and he is doing that for intention. Hoseok and cleans his feet, and Daniel tells him. But do you have any news about Jiwon? Mrs. Kim asked, and Jin shook his head while he looked at Hoseok and Daniel. Hoseok stood up and said, What type of mother you are? Go to. He stepped out of the house, slams the door shut, while Daniel went after him. Well, I will get in touch with you when I have news from Taehyung and Jiwon. Here is my number. Please call me if there anything you would like to report, Jin said, and stopped thanking her. He left, and Mrs. Kim sat back down on her chair when she soon burst into tears. Hoseok was walking away from the house when Daniel catch up to him. Dude, you got to chill, alright? Daniel said. Jin come after Hoseok and grab him by the collar. Listen here, I know you are very stressed with what's going on, but I need you to calm down. If you can't do that, I don't need you to be in this case anymore. Hoseok nodded his head and Jin let go of him while they backed to the station. That night, Taehyung's stomach was burning and he knew what that was. He hungry, but he had no choice but to remain quiet. Soon the door opened and Jungkook came down with food while he walked towards Taehyung. He placed the bowl of food next to Jiwon, who was sitting in the corner while let's sit next to Taehyung. Eat, I know you are hungry, Jungkook said. Taehyung took a slice and ate it while Jungkook was being quiet next to him. Why is he so quiet? Was it because of what I said? Taehyung thought out to himself. Before Taehyung could speak, Jungkook spoke up and Taehyung heard him out. Choose, do you want him dead or alive? Jungkook asked while pointing to Jiwon. Taehyung was surprised and he looked at Jiwon, who went quiet. Why would you ask that? Taehyung asked, and Jungkook smiled while chewing his food. He came in between us, so you all already hurt him like how he did to you. Now, do you want him dead or you want him alive? Jungkook said, and Taehyung didn't know what to answer. If you want him to alive, I can go with that, but I'll make sure he lost his memory about everything. That would be my final punishment for him, Jungkook said, and Taehyung had his done thinking about what to pick. Then Jiwon spoke up while he threw his ball aside. You both, rather kill you both inside. I just need to save the energy and find the chance to kill you both. Especially Taehyung, you are the reason why I am this mess, Jiwon yelled. Taehyung clenched his jaw and turned to look at Jungkook, who was still waiting for an answer. I pick up. Taehyung was thinking again and Jiwon stared at him. Alive, Taehyung said, and Jungkook nodded his head while he took a last bite of the pizza. He tried Taehyung's hand and made sure he couldn't escape. He stood up and grabbed. I'm gonna make sure your memory will be wiped out, Jungkook said, and they ended up outside of the. After a while, Jiwon dropped to the ground unconsciously, and Jungkook put him in the car while he dropped off the divan somewhere. Now Taehang is man only and forever one big pass. Taehang was still being treated the same way every day by Jungkook, and he couldn't see the change to escape or even making a call to the police. It's been 1 week, Hobie, where are you? I can't take it, Taehang thought, and he heard Jungkook coming down to the basement again. Good afternoon, lunch, Taehang questioned, and Jungkook placed the food tray next to Taehang. Jungkook, don't you had enough? You kept me here for a week. Just let me go, Taehang said, and Jungkook smiled at him. He placed the tray next to the food and said, 1 week won't be enough for you. Jungkook stood up and left the basement to do his stuff upstairs while Taehang ate his lunch as usual. At the same time, Hoseok was at home waiting for the news from Jin about Taehang's whereabouts. Where would he be? Hoseok asked himself, and he felt distressed by it until he got a call from Jin. Hello, Mr. Jin. Hoseok, would you mind come down to the station to see me? I have a discuss about something with you. Hoseok agreed to come down to the station, and he put his jacket on while heading to his car. When Hoseok arrived, he knocked on Jin's office, and Jin allowed him come in. Jung Hoseok, please take a seat, Jin said, and Hoseok sat down quickly. I might have actually found something. I know it took a week, but I thought that you should know about this, Jin said, and he turned his laptop around. Hoseok watched the video, and it was 2 days before Taehang went missing. He dashed Daniel and Jiwon until he see Daniel and Ji Young kissing before walking away from each other. What? Hoseok marveled. I know this might look bad, but I feel like Daniel is not really telling us the truth. We should speak to him about this if he is really involved in what happened to Taehang, Jin said, and Hoseok knows while cleaning his feet. He should be at the hospital beside when Jiwon was found alive. He was always there at the hospital, Jin said, and they make their way to the hospital. As they were on the way to the hospital, Hoseok could wait forget his hand on Dylan, and he remembered that he had arraigned him before. I know he's weird, but I couldn't let him, Hoseok asked. Just this one, Jin said, and Hoseok were even more excited. Taehang was done with his breakfast, and Jungkook came to clear it all while he noticed that Taehang's clothes were very dirty. You need new clothes, Jungkook said, and he turned. Jungkook grabbed him by arms and held upstairs to take the new clothes. Taehang see the door suddenly open, and he looked around for something to hit Jungkook with. He see an umbrella and grabs it quickly while Jungkook was looking for clothes at his doorway. Then Taehang hit Jungkook on his back, causing Jungkook to lose his grip on Taehang. Taehang dashed towards the door and managed to escape while he knew he needed to alert someone. He ran into the forest and could hear Jungkook calling him, Taehang, come back, Taehang. Taehang ran as fast as he can until he stopped when he was about to fall down from the hill while Jungkook was already closer to him. He raised the umbrella in front of Jungkook and said, you take a few steps away and I'll hit you. Jungkook assures him that he was not going to do anything with him with Taehang was taking a few steps behind. Taehang, just trust me and I won't hurt you, Jungkook said, and he slowly walked to Taehang. Taehang was not listening until he slipped down to the hill and rolled downstairs while Jungkook ran as fast as he could. Taehang rolled down until he hit Jungkook came and saw Taehang lie on the ground unconsciously while he noticed the red liquid on his head and right leg. Jungkook tore a piece of his cloth and wiped it around Taehang's right leg. He carried Taehang on his arm and quickly made his way back to the cabin later. Hoseok and Jin arrive at the hospital to find Daniel while they head to Jeon wards. Just like they predicted, Daniel was asleep at Jeon ward drinking his coffee. Hey Daniel, Hoseok called him out and Daniel was surprised to see them. Hoseok grabbed Daniel by his collar and take him outside of the hospital while Jin had no choice but to watch them. As soon as they reached outside, Hoseok pointed Daniel across his face. You betrayer! It's your idea to make the hung go missing. What is wrong with you, Daniel? Hoseok yelled. He got up top of Daniel and beat him up while Daniel was confused about it and pushed Hoseok off. What are you talking about? Daniel asked. You and Ojan were dating, Hoseok asked Daniel, sitting as he admitted to do it. Yeah, we are, but I had nothing to do with that happened to Tahang, Daniel said. Hoseok punched him in the face again and said, Kader, where is Tahang? I don't know. Daniel added him. You and Jiwon were trying to do something to Tahang. You know that Jiwon had been Tahang up. Hoseok continued to fight back. You are a betrayer, you trap up manager, you are, Hoseok yelled. Daniel signed and got on his knee. I am losing my job as the manager. They were going to fire me and replace me. I can't do that. Jin came beside Hoseok and held him to cool him down. Jiwon was also losing the stoplight. His acting career was going to be over, so I walked with him, but we ended going the other part. Daniel said. Jin stopped on and said, Kim Tae didn't know, am I right? Daniel shook his head and Hoseok gave him more pressure while he looks away from him. I'm sorry, but Jiwon had lost his memory and tried to find out who did this, and I think he might know where Tahang is, Daniel said, and Hoseok scoffed at him. Jinin stepped in between them and said, Both of you need the time alone, but I would be become to speak to Mr. Jiwon soon. Daniel nodded and he wanted to apologize to Hoseok, but Hoseok took a deep breath from him. Yeah, Tahang opened his eyes and noticed that he was in a room inside of the basement while he still felt the pain on his head and right leg. He touched his head and could feel that he had a bandage while his right leg also had the bandage. Before he could sit upright, he see Jungkook sleeping in the corner on the chair and seemed surprised. Has he been sleeping here in the whole night? Tahang thought and noticed the mess of the ground beside the bed. He realized that Jungkook was treating his wound since last night and sat down slowly while hissing in pain. Jungkook woke up to the sound of Tahang hiss and went straight to check on the wounds. He picked up the mess that was on the ground and he left to the room without saying anything while Tahang was running. Is he upset? But he didn't hurt or do anything to me, Tahang said to himself, and he moved to his position slowly while adjusting the pillow. Jungkook came back into the room with the food tray and set it on the bed while preparing it for Tahang. Tahang seeing poured and cup of tea beside it while the aroma of the filled in the air. Surprisingly, Jungkook let Tahang eat on his own without feeding him, and Tahang ate his quietly while Jungkook sat back on the chair. He looked at the ground the whole time without saying anything, and Tahang knew that Jungkook might be upset with what happened. When Tahang was done with his, Jungkook stood up and took the tray from him until Tahang called his name, making him stop with his back facing Tahang. Jungkook, are you upset with me? Tahang asked. Jungkook walked away and left the room without answering Tahang's question, making Tahang feeling guilty. Why is it making me feel guilty? That's weird, Tahang murmured to himself. He hears the door open again and realizes that Jungkook came in with a new bandage and ornament for his wound. Jungkook quite changed the bandage on Taehyung's right leg while Taehyung watched him the whole time. "Why didn't you kill me? You said you would," Taehyung said, and Jungkook put the ornament on the wound. "If you are upset with me, just tell me. Don't make me feel guilty, which I am not supposed to," Taehyung said again, and Jungkook was still ignoring him. Taehyung was getting irritated after being ignored and said, "Could you at least say something interested to give me this silent treatment?" Jungkook looked at him and said, You nearly died falling from that hill. How am I supposed to feel? Maybe you should realize it when you escape from me." Taehyung was in a way hearing Jungkook talking like that, and Jungkook changed the bandage on Taehyung's head. "I'm upset with you, but that doesn't change how I really feel towards you," Jungkook said, and placed the new bandage on Taehyung's head. He picked up the mess and left the room before slamming the door so hard that it made Taehyung flinch slightly. Jungkook was in the kitchen washing his hands and saying as he realized how upset he was with Taehyung, "I was scared to death, Taehyung. I thought I was going to lose you at that moment," Jungkook said to himself. Meanwhile, Hoseok was in office as he tried to think of where Taehyung could be. "So you and Daniel are not really friends?" Jin asked, and Hoseok nodded his head. "Yes, I hated him ever since he became Taehyung's manager. I know he wasn't up to not good," Hoseok said, "but even thought I hate him, I don't see him being involved with Taehyung's disappearance," Hoseok said, and Jin nodded his head. "Do you or Kim Taehyung have any other friend before?" Jin asked again, and Hoseok shook his head. He took a sip of coffee and said, "Me and Taehyung have been friends for quite long since we were kids. I don't remember any other people." "This is harder than I thought. We checked the CCTV where Taehyung was seen as his location, but nothing surprised," Jin said. It's okay, Hoseok. You may head home and got some rest. We'll continue tomorrow," Jin said, and Hoseok nodded while he left the office. As Hoseok was driving home, he could only think of Taehyung and wonder if he was still alive or not. "I miss you, Taehyung," Hoseok said while holding his tears pile. Jin was holding some last-minute check and see the video of Taehyung's rest fan meeting. He watched the video for a while and noticed something while he pushed the video. "That guy in full black hoodies and a mask seems suspicious," Jin said, and take the picture of it right away. Taehyung was sitting on the bed while looking out of the window when Jungkook came in with his dinner. He could smell the aroma of kimchi and seeing it was fried kimchi rice. Jungkook placed the food tray on Taehyung's bed and made sure everything was there while he placed the iced tea on the side table along the pink color of Taehyung's tail. Jungkook was about to leave the room when Taehyung grabbed him on the waist. "I didn't get to say thanks you for helping me earlier, so thank you," Taehyung said. Jungkook saw a warm smile and kissed Taehyung on the forehead before walking out of the room. Taehyung started eating his dinner while enjoying it, and Jungkook ate his dinner in the kitchen downstairs. He turned the TV on and watches at the news still about Taehyung being missing for a week. "Don't worry, Taehyung, you won't go through the same pain ever again," Jungkook said, and continued to eat until the news changed to Jiwon being treated in the hospital. Then he see that Jiwon was being accompanied by Taehyung's manager Daniel. "The mother was a dirty player," Jungkook said and chuckled. "I should we kill him when I had the chance," Jungkook said, and take a video of the news of his phone to show it to Taehyung when the time is right. Jungkook went back to take the food that Taehyung had eaten and noticed that Taehyung had already fallen asleep. He moved closer to Taehyung and pulled the blanket to cover Taehyung while making sure he was comfortable. He caressed Taehyung's face gently and moved closer to give a kiss on Taehyung's cheeks. Jungkook stared at Taehyung's lips for a while and smiled to himself. I promise to make you smile again, Taehyung. 2 days passed. Jungkook removed the bandage on Taehyung's leg and see that it was recovering better than before. It will be headed in 2 days. I'll be okay, Jungkook said, and Taehyung nodded with a smile. Jungkook shook his bandage on Taehyung's head and it was also recovering well. You might end up with a premier on your head, Jungkook said, and Taehyung was okay with it. Jungkook looked at the time and he had an idea in his mind. I want to take you somewhere, Jungkook said, and Taehyung nodded his head while Jungkook helped him to stand. They walked out of the house together while Taehyung was holding Jungkook's arm to walk just in case he was about to fall. Jungkook leads the way and smiled at Taehyung was slowly being able to walk after a while. If it's hurt too much, just tell me and I'll stop, Jungkook said, and Taehyung nodded at him. They walked across the forest and Jungkook was making sure that Taehyung was alright. A while later, they were out of the forest and Taehyung was in awe when he saw the huge open field right in front of him. We have this whole space to ourselves, Taehyung, Jungkook said, and Taehyung smiled and see it all. They took a seat under the tree while Jungkook opened a can of soda for Taehyung as they enjoyed looking at all the view while feeling the breeze. Taehyung turned to Jungkook and said, I never got to see anything like this beautiful ever. It's really amazing. Jungkook smiled to hearing how happy Taehyung was and he pats Taehyung on the back. Taehyung sighed and his head down, but I have another life out there. I should be focused more on that than doing this, Taehyung said. Jungkook shook his head and said, did you even lose your life before this? Were you that happy with your busy schedules, not having the time off to rest, and your love life? Taehyung frowned and said, what are you talking about? I do love my life before this. Jungkook laughed at him in disbelief and said in front of Taehyung, so you really want that life back? Your busy schedule without having any break of time to yourself and marry your lover Jung? Taehyung's eyes widened and went silent after what Jungkook said. And when the police find you, once of this will be here anymore. No freedom for you. You all go back to those shadows and marry Jeon, Jungkook said, and Taehyung was silent again. But what else can I do? This how my life is, Taehyung said while his eye was getting teary. Jungkook held Taehyung's hand and said, you are already free from that life, Taehyung. You are already here. Jungkook decided to head back to the cabin and Taehyung grabbed his arms and they walked back together.